Welcome to Fight Club 24/7. My name's Johnny Rashman. Right, I'm here with Superfly Tony Browne. Tony,
how's it going?
How the devil are you, mate?
Very good, very good. Good to be back in Manchester.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Tell people what you're doing here.
I'm here for sparring. So I got here this morning, sparred in Gallagher's gym. Spar tomorrow and I'm flying back. But I'm hoping to be here regularly for the next couple of weeks in the build to my next fight. And then after my fight, I'd like to come over here for an extended period of time, maybe stay for a month or two.
Yeah.
You know, get some training and sparring in here. Good quality guys.
So for people who might not know who Tony is, he's a professional fighter, 5-1, super-middleweight, great amateur, was on the verge of going to the Olympics, turned pro a few years ago, and progressing okay. Now I want to talk about your career so far. So I think your career kicked off, it was in fucking strange circumstances. It was the pandemic, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I turned professional. That was kind of my push to turn professional was the pandemic. I was kind of in a bit of a no man's land where, you know, I was still amateur. I could have stuck around maybe and given another bash for the Olympic team, but I decided to go professional. I signed with an American promoter at the start, and at that point it looked like America was going to reopen by September. I signed in August. Yeah. And then 2 years later, I made my American debut. So
yeah. So let's get to you. So let's tell people properly, right? So he signed the contract with Star Boxing, who promote Joe Smith Jr., Chris Algieri, Carlos Takim, American outfit from New York. So he signed it, right? You signed it. When did you sign it? You signed the contract in
2020. August 2020.
Was that after the Was that?
It was during the pandemic.
Yeah.
The pandemic had just started, but at that point, people were thinking that it was going to be over in a month or 2 months.
True, yeah. So
no one really predicted it was going to go on for 2 years.
Yeah, so he's basically signed for a promotional outlet. He's thinking, right, this is my time, ready to go. And then it sort of stagnated because you couldn't fly to America.
Yeah.
They're based in New York. So what you were doing was having fights in Poland, in Spain.
Yeah, I fought around mainland Europe because a lot of the small promotions were still putting together shows and doing them via live stream. Even at that point, the big promoters weren't even running shows. It was only kind of halfway through the pandemic that you saw Eddie Hearn put on the Fight Camp series. But prior to that, there was no options, and then the options were laid in front of me to fight around Europe. So, you know, at that point in my career, I wanted to get busy. I wanted to get going. So I opted to take the fights and just get some experience and get some rounds under my belt before going to the States.
Yeah, so there was a point in time where you were probably one of the few fighters who were actually regularly fighting.
Yeah, I mean, like the first 6 months of my career, I had 6 fights, so it was 6 or 5 fights. So I was very busy starting off, and you know, I fought tough opposition as well. I didn't fight any bin men. I got in there and I fought against guys who were, you know, not all of them were on my level, but they came and they were there to try and upset.
I want to talk about Casimima, right?
Yeah.
Casimima is a mad name to have. Now, he was a world champion in 2005, right? And he did need a Zimmer frame to get to the ring with you. I joke. Yeah, I had to get a Zimmer frame to get in.
He was definitely past his best.
But it's mad though, isn't it, that you actually fought him? That's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
man.
it was cool to have the opportunity to fight against a former world champion because, you know, he was
an IBF world champion.
He's part of my record now, and he had a great career. He actually had a great fight with Gennady Golovkin.
Yeah.
He went 11 rounds and he got stopped over a cut.
He was a prospect, like at one point.
He was a tough guy, yeah. Really nice guy as well. So I was actually meant to fight a month before that, and I actually ended up in hospital with an illness, a random illness that came out of nowhere, and it was quite severe. So I had to pull out of the other fight. I did look like I was going to fight for a while, but then then I got off for the fight against Casimima a month later.
Yeah.
And I just
what was it like when you got offered that name? Did you automatically think, I know who that guy is?
I looked him up, yeah. I'd heard of him.
It's like a name I
watched him then, and I was like, I want to fight that guy. So I did everything I could to get myself fighting fit as fast as I could.
Was it in Spain that you
It
fought?
was in Belgium.
In Belgium.
A very small ring.
In front of, was it no crowds then? Or was
There was a small enough crowd. Yeah, there was a guy there. I can't remember his name. He lives there. He's from, I think he's Syrian. And he had a few supporters.
Is that
there.
Masadi?
Yeah, I think
Anas Masadi.
I can't remember his second name. I can't pronounce it. But
I think he's Libyan. I think
Libyan. Yeah. He's a super middleweight. He's a big tall guy.
Yeah.
He fought, and there was a few people there. But it was on the live stream, you know.
But it's mad because when, like you said, the ring was literally like this. It was so small, wasn't it? What did you think when you got there? Did you think, "What the fuck's this?"
Yeah, it was a pretty small ring, but I mean, like my last fight in the States, I don't think the ring was much bigger. So when I got there, like,
used to it.
See, when I was an amateur, like the rings were
massive,
usually Olympic-sized rings. Yeah. So like you had all the space in the world. It was very hard for a guy to get close if he had good feet, which I always had.
Yeah.
And then when you get in the pros, like some of these rings are like nearly the size of some people's bathrooms. They're fucking tiny. So yeah, but like that initially, I remember getting there and going, "Oh man, this ring is so small." But then, you know, luckily Stephen, our coach, he had done a lot of work in the ring where he uses a rope to cut the ring into four. So small, we do a bit of in-close sparring, so you do get used to being in that close distance.
You had a really good amateur career. Like you've been around Katie Taylor, and you've been around all the good fighters. Joe Ward. Who were the other fighters? Good fighters, Irish. You were on the Irish Olympic team, weren't you?
Yeah, there was. I remember when I was a bit younger, I trained up there. You had like Darren O'Neill, Roy Sheehan, Katie Taylor, Mick Conlon, Paddy Barnes, Jesus loads, Stephen Donnelly.
And you went to European Games, didn't you?
I went to European Games. Was that in Minsk, Belarus? Yeah, 2019. I lost out in a split decision to Tony Filippi. You know, I went to, at the time, Joe Ward was the number one at 81, so I opted to go up to 91. I was weighing in on the day of weigh-ins, and I was having my breakfast before weigh-ins, and I was weighing in like 85.
Yeah, so for people who might not know, sorry, Tony, Tony, you had to go up to heavyweight because in his weight division was Joe Ward, Has he won any medals at the Olympics, Joe Ward? No. Was it World Championships he's won?
He's won a silver in the Worlds, and he's got a good resume in the amateurs.
Serious amateur Joe Ward. He was a guy who, in his first professional fight, did his leg in, didn't he? Got an injury.
Yes,
did his leg in, and he's a big prospect.
Was that his first fight?
His first, I'm sure it was his first fight. It might be wrong.
Yeah, that's unlucky.
So, so Tony's, you've been around all the fights because you got to remember when you're. We're talking like this, and I know you're a professional fighter. It's just normal. But a lot of fans, people who are watching this, they like to hear, like, you know, the times with Katie Taylor and Joe Parker you speak to a lot, and Charlie Edwards, and you know, if you're just normal people, but to fans, they're like fucking superstars.
Yeah,
what's Joe Parker like?
Really nice guy. Yeah, really nice guy. Like I think the thing that people see, got people on television, and I think that they're some sort of superstar, but like
it's true.
We're all just normal blokes, you know. Like what they say the champion is just the average man with laser-like focus, you know.
It's true.
They're able to focus on their boxing, but they're just normal people. And most boxers, I've been very fortunate to meet a lot of very, very sound boxers, you know. Like Joe Parker's really, really nice guy.
How did you meet Joe Parker?
He was training with Andy Lee, and I was sparring Jason Quigley for a while, and Joe Parker was obviously in training camp with Jay, so he would be there in the gym when I was sparring, so I just got familiar with him, got chatting to him in the gym, and really nice guy.
Again, Jay Quigley, because they all come O'Rourke's gym. If you follow me on social media, you will know that I'm close with them. I plug them a lot because I think they're a very, very talented bunch of fighters. But you get the best of Ireland coming in there, the McKennas, Paddy Donovan. Because it's difficult, isn't it? Because in Ireland, there's a lack of sparring, isn't there? Hence why you come to Manchester. I watched the reasoning for you for coming to Manchester.
Yeah, like at my weight in particular, it depends. Like some of the weights, there's more, but in my weight class, there's not a big pool of sparring.
And what weight class are you?
Super-middleweight.
Super-middleweight.
Or I could spar light heavy super-middleweight, you know. But there's not a whole lot of guys, and then it's good to get over here and mix it up, and this, you know, I always find when you come to Manchester, it's like intense. Sparring's intense over here. Like, people are trying to take you out. You're in their gym. You're from Ireland, so it's good. Like, it's great preparation, and like, people in Manchester are so fucking fit, man, as well. Like,
it's the Manchester style. It's a very well known thing that Manchester boxers.
They're grafters.
Fitness,
they're grafters.
Yeah.
So I love it. I always feel like I level up when I leave Manchester.
Yeah.
I actually felt like I felt like I came to Manchester too early before my last fight, because I came about 8-9 weeks before, maybe even longer.
We talking pre-Christmas?
No, I was here I think it was I think I was here in January, was I?
February.
Maybe February or January, but then I fought in the end of April. Like, I fought in April. So I would like to come here probably close to the fight. So this time around, I'll spend a good bit of time in Manchester before, right up till the fight, because I always feel really sharp, and I always feel like I level up when I come over here in terms of conditioning, fitness, time, and everything.
Yeah.
And it gives you good confidence, sparring good guys like that.
Of course it does. Let me just go back to, I can't remember, I saw pictures of you with, it was Katie Taylor. I think it was Joe Parker there. I've seen that picture.
Yeah, they were training in the gym. It's the gym across the road from me, Carl O'Grady's gym, White Collar Boxing. I actually did a bit of work there, so Carl's a good friend of mine. And I live literally across the road, so I was going to fight in Spain. And Andy Lee just texted me and said, "Oh, we're doing a session across the road if you want to jump in." So I just
Who was there?
It was me, Paddy Donovan, Katie Taylor, Joe Parker, Andy was there.
What's Katie like? Because I'm not being funny. It's like she's such like an icon in Ireland. But what's she like to be close with? Like, you just don't know her personality. She's not tall.
Yeah, no, she's like really, really nice. She's got like I said, she's got that laser focus.
Yeah, has she?
Like, like I always thought it was like, I always found it very motivational to train around her, because you see how focused she is and how dedicated to her craft she is. So anytime I've had the fortunate opportunity to train alongside her, I've always just like tried to soak up as much of her energy as I can. Cause,
she's an icon, isn't she?
Experience.
An icon from where you're from in Ireland.
Oh yeah, I think she's a global icon now. To be honest,
I love her.
I think she's great. Like, she's just a really good-willed person, and she's like a strong person. You saw her in that last fight. She was out in her feet in round 5.
What heart
to take that and then come back and win the following rounds. That's champion.
Yeah,
that's
elite mentality.
That's just champion. Like, I think she embodies what a champion is.
Do you know what I liked about the Serrano fight was at the beginning of the fight, Serrano was like, "Oh, this is crazy," and Katie was like, just not even interested. Like, what are you fucking saying that for? Why?
You could, again, like, going back to that laser like focus, like, you could see it in her eyes. Like, she was just so switched on and ready for the fight. It was like, like, nothing. Like, I actually thought that was a very telling moment in the fight.
I agree.
Like, Serrano's like, wow.
Yeah.
And Katie was like, "I'm gonna fucking beat you," like,
And I thought Serrano, I don't know what was wrong with after the fight. I'm not being funny. Don't get me wrong, right? I get the occasion, I get how good it is and where she's come from, Serrano. But take all that away, it's a fucking fight, right? If it's a close fight for the undisputed belts, that was you, and you think you've been robbed. You're not gonna fucking go mad, rage war, and smiling and having a cup of tea afterwards, nicey nice. What's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it was a close fight, but like, you have to be in there and to be in the fight and live the fight to really know how they felt. Like, I would imagine Katie was landing the more telling blows, particularly in the later half of the fight. Like, I'd say, Serrano knew in herself that she didn't win the fight.
Yeah, it wasn't that people are going complete robbery. It wasn't just because you have a big round. It's only one round, 10-9 or 10-8, doesn't matter. The first 4 rounds you can score.
Like, anyone who says it was a robbery, I completely disagree with that. I don't think it was a robbery. I think it was a close fight. It was a very good fight.
Of course it was.
I think Serrano was a great opponent for Katie Taylor, because it brought out the best version of Katie Taylor.
Yeah.
And it was like Gatti Ward. It was like a proper all-time classic fight. It was like for women's boxing, it was like
amazing.
The best thing that could have happened was that fight.
Yeah.
I mean, if Katie Taylor had just gone and just like beat her, and it was a one-sided boxing lesson, which a lot of people thought it was going to be.
I didn't think that, no way. I thought it was going to be close, but I always thought the weight advantage. And Taylor, when you look back, like I watched it back, I watched the first 4 rounds back. I need to watch the others without any commentary, and that makes a massive difference. If you watch a fight without commentary, the stupid fucking DAZN commentators can't bear him, right? You pull it on mute and you actually just see it, and you can see the distance. So the amateur pedigree of like, she just knows how to keep that separation, doesn't she? Like, how just explain that to someone. How do you, when I'm saying she knows how to keep distance, just try and break it down in simple terms for non-boxers.
Well, like I remember even when I was in the amateur, when I was with the amateur squad, like that was the big thing, was the bet, like a lot of times in sparring, like if you were just able to manage your distance against an opponent, it didn't matter what style they were, orthodox, southpaw, aggressive, counterpuncher. If you were able to manage the distance, so that means you know exactly when you're in and out of range by. Down to the inches.
So talking about distance, so obviously you're there, I'm here. So if we were fighting, if I took a little step back,
you'd still be fucked, man.
I fucking put you now, mate. What are you talking about, mate? Don't fucking start, mate. Let me tell you, don't start.
He's never been in a fight in his life. For all the fans. That's called, see them reflexes.
That's a good clip. That you see, listen.
That's
you can't even handle the microphone.
That's my
mate.
distance.
Just keep it quiet.
That's my distance.
Stop
control.
breaking the equipment as well, mate.
Damn, just tighten it because your equipment's not even been tightened.
I can't wait to clip.
Doesn't even have his microphones.
Everyone's used these microphones. Check, these are legit, mate.
Yeah, why is mine falling apart then?
It's not really, don't work.
Go.
So so I'm talking about distance, right? So if I stand a little step back, that means I can't hit you, right? Yeah. So how do I, in a fight, how do I do that and stop an opponent just walking to me? What do I do?
Well, Stephen, our coach, works a lot with, particularly in the last year, on measuring where we are from opponents by just using that prodding that jab, that probing jab.
Yeah, just keep
even
it out.
Today when I was sparring, you saw I was touching a lot with the jab just to see where I was from my opponent.
Yeah,
and he's in or out of the distance. If you're
you can't feel the head
jab,
basically.
you can't see him. If you're touching the jab, I can let some shots off and go.
Yeah,
but a lot of it is like it's like a reactive, intuitive thing. You need to be able to react as soon as the foot comes forward. You step back, you step forward. It's important managing distance. Very important.
Going back to Casimiro on the fight, right? So you beat Casimiro, who, by the way, has a fucking mental story. Isn't he in the film or something?
Yeah, they made a short movie about him because he was a child soldier.
A soldier in like Sierra Leone or some mad country like that.
Yeah.
What's the film called? Is it called The Son of a Soldier or something?
I actually don't know.
Someone Google it. It's Casimiro, right? It's a proper documentary, unbelievable, mental story. And you remember you sent me that video of having a beer with him.
Yeah.
What was he like afterwards?
Yeah, we had it. We came into our room, we had a beer.
Yeah.
A couple of beers, had a good chat. Nice guy.
Yeah. Right, so you're 4-0. So look, we're building, everything's going well. So then you take a fight in, was it March against that Italian bloke? March 2021. May 20, yeah.
Yeah.
It was May 2021 against, do you know the good bloke's name, was it?
Matteo Donea.
So, and he was, I think he was 1-0, wasn't he, when you fought him?
No, he was 3-0, I think that's it.
3-0, and I remember telling Tony at the time, I remember saying, these guys, it's a bit of a lottery, because it could be a bum, or he could be a future world champion. Because he's not had loads of fights, you don't know how good he is.
Yeah.
Did you know anything about his style, or?
Not really, no. I knew he was built, kind of come forward, strong guy. He was. And you had a war with him, didn't you? Yeah, I had a war with him. Yeah.
Great fight. I remember watching it.
Yeah, well, again, I've had a couple of unlucky moments when fights. Again, that fight, my gum shield kept falling out my mouth.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it was from the weight cut or something, because supposedly your gums can shrink from the dehydration, but. It was literally, even when I was slipping my head, the gum shield was flying out my mouth and the ref took a point off me. I still thought it was a comfortable win. I did end up winning pretty comfortably. But yeah, it was a hard fight. I just kind of stood in middle distance with him and just traded with him.
And that was 8 rounds?
That was 8 rounds.
So this is what I mean with Tony. He's not messing around, right? He's coming into the sport. You're 27 now.
Yeah.
So he's not taking 3 rounds, 4 rounds. He just wants 8 rounders, 9 rounders. He wants to get in there, get that experience. That fight was a tough fight. It was a grueling fight. It was 8 rounds. Tick the box off. You know what I mean? You've gone through a grueling fight for the first you know, in your first 10 fights, it's always good to have a tough fight. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially abroad, you can tick it off. Because it's all right sparring and, you know, saying you're a tough fighter, but to get in those fights and to go through it and live it, and then to come out the other end, it's a good experience.
Yeah.
So that's box ticked. So I remember, must have been 2 weeks, 3 weeks after, wasn't it?
It's 2.5 weeks. I think.
2.5 weeks after, I remember him telling me, right, I've got another fight against a bloke called Chico Carasso. And I said to you, and I'm going to say it, right? I don't give a fuck. I said to you, be careful taking a fight like that, right? You don't know who the bloke is. Again, he's 1-0. You've just had a war. Just fucking be careful. But obviously, Tony being Tony's a fight every day if he had to. So you go into the fight. First of all, this guy is like a fucking giant of a fucking person. First of all, tall, thin, just awkward fucking.
Yeah, like he was 5-0. Chico Quasi, definitely wasn't on my level. Like
technique wise,
everything wise. But you know, going into that fight, I'll be the first to admit. I learned the hard way that it's not like the amateurs. The amateurs, you were able to take fights every weekend. In the pros, there was a big process to get my weight down because I was fighting at a lighter weight. I fought him at a catch weight between super-middleweight and light heavyweight. So as soon as I got back from the Matteo Donea fight, I was straight away again depleting myself, and I was probably in a dehydrated state for about a month straight. I was pretty dehydrated.
Yeah. So
when I got in the ring on fight night, I just had no pop, no snap in me at all. I remember sitting down in the corner in round 1 and Stephen saying, "Are you tired?" And me going, "I am fucking bollocks." And my condition and my fitness is usually one of my strongest assets, and I just had nothing there that night. So unfortunately, it was obviously a very tough and difficult way to learn that lesson. But I suppose now with the I take my training, I take my preparation a lot more seriously now. I actually have a professional nutritionist who I work with now. And I take that side of the sport, and I also prioritize rest massively now as well, which I never did before. I just train. Like I was running every day of the week nearly to make the weight for that fight, training, sparring, like right up until. And I never gave I needed probably a month's rest after that fight with Matteo. And it was a physical fight.
So just to take it back, so to just let people know, so you had the Domino fight, whatever his name is, and 2 weeks after. The point of this, what you were just saying, was that you weren't at your best because really you shouldn't have been fighting. You just had a tough fight. Really should be resting for a week, and it's a lesson to learn because I remember watching the fight and I fucking said I knew straight away you fucked. I knew you were just your timing wasn't there. I was
forcing shots. I just had no energy.
Yeah.
And again, I think that was just down to the fact. Not so much my preparations. My preparations were always good for every fight, but it was just that making the weight straight away. And basically, like I said, like at the moment when I'm training, I'm eating loads of carbs on training days. I'm drinking 4 or 5 liters of water on a normal day.
Yeah, but this is
back then I was drinking probably
yeah, but I disagree. I don't think it's that. I think it's the fight before that. That's the killer, not the kill. You know what I mean?
See, the thing is, if I was doing it the way I do it now, I wouldn't have been able to take that fight anyway because I wouldn't have been able to make the weight. Yeah, because I do it properly now. But if I had so that's what I'm saying. Like if I had my approach that I have now, there's just no way I would have been able to do it. So I wouldn't have taken the fight.
What I've got to say though is I knew you were flat, right? But you showed so much fucking heart because 8 times out of 10, a lot of boxers would have packed it in because I could see it wasn't like you were draining in the second half of the fight. It was 8 rounds. It was literally the first 30 seconds you could see. Yeah, I know this is not the Tony Browne that I'm used to. He's fucking fighting on fight or flight. He was just fighting on pure adrenaline and
I sat down
toughness.
At the first round, like I said, and I was genuinely.
What was going through your mind?
10 rounds. I was just like, gotta get through this.
Did you think, fuck? Or was it all a blur? Or do you remember thinking, or did you feel like you might be stopped at any time? Did your legs feel wobbly? Did you feel...
Yeah, I definitely felt even that in the ring that night when I was fighting, my focus wasn't on the fight. It was like, my mind was like elsewhere and stuff, which has never happened to me before. It all just like came. Yeah. And I remember after the weigh-in that day, I rehydrated and I got off the scales and I started like shaking loads and like profusely sweating.
Talk a little bit into that.
After I drank all the water, so it was kind of obvious to me then that obviously my body was not in a good place for the fight.
So did you think, when did it hit you that I'm in trouble? Did you think pre-fight going to the ring, or did you still think, nah,
I didn't feel right the whole day, but
Did
you know,
you?
you always tell yourself, like, it's like, you're not going to tell yourself how you're fucked. You're going to say, oh, it's going to be alright.
Yeah.
Like,
And he was a
don't worry.
tall, gangly,
He was just awkward. He was
awkward
just,
fucker.
you know, like if he had been a smaller, stocky guy, and even if he was a good boxer, it would have been easier night for me because I could have stayed behind my jab and stayed long.
Oh, you fuck him
I was
up.
tired, like, but
real
it was just, with a tall guy like that, you got to move your head more, and you got to be on it because you got to time his punches. Like, you have to be, sometimes you can't be first with a guy who's tall like that. You have to be seconds. You have to make him miss and then hit him, or else hit him same time as he's trying to hit you. But when you have no energy, you can't do that. I know if he was small, I could have just stuck my jab out, turned out, keep him long. That doesn't take half as much energy to do that. So, but listen, that fight's done. It's gone.
But you know what? I think it's really good experience because, like you say, if you were to win that fight, maybe you took even more gambles in the future, where you know, right, if I fucking do this, I'll get beat. Because no matter how talented you are, it don't make a difference. If you're not physically able to fight in a professional level, you're gonna get fucking
big
beat.
time. And like, listen, like I said, it's like, it is true. Like, I think Muhammad Ali is quoted for saying he's grateful for his wins, but he's even more grateful for his losses because he learned from them and he made him train better. So, you know, like, you take a loss, and to be honest, I know everyone wants the perfect dream start, getting to 15, 20-0 before they get a big fight on. Whatever, I took a loss. Maybe people will underestimate me in the future, and it'll work as an advantage to me. I've forgotten about that loss. I know what level I'm at. I've proven time and time again, especially over here, sparring against world class guys. You know, they're like fights over here. I know what level I'm at. So that fight's done, and I took my learnings from it, and just like a champion, I took my loss. Took my loss like a champion, and get on with it. And fair play to me, he beat me on the night. I'm not going to discredit him or anything like that. I genuinely believe if I was to fight him again, or if I was to fight him under different circumstances, I truly believe I would beat him very well.
Fuck him up.
But you know, he did what he had to do on the night, and he got the win. So,
do you think you'll have a fight with him again?
It's hard to know. It's hard to know what way it'll go because
I don't think he's going to go anywhere near you career-wise. I just think you're going to be bigger.
Well, it's hard now because I'm obviously fighting on Star Boxing, and there's fights in America for me, and it's just like. Because it happened so early as well, it's like it's not necessary. It's not like I have to like if I was 15-0 and I got beat by a guy who's also at that level, and you want to push on for titles, then you're gonna have the rematch to show. But because it was a blip and it happened so early on, listen, like I said, I would like to rematch him. I would like to fight to fight anyone who's put in front of me. So of course I'd take a rematch with him. But it's hard, it's just hard to know if it's going to happen at this stage of my career, or however way the next year or two pans out.
No, I think you're going there. And no disrespect to that bloke, he's going there, mate. He ain't getting to any type of level. If he does a whole man job, I could see him. He ain't getting. You're going there. He's going there. You'll never hear of him again. Right. So as a team, you've moved on for that. I think everyone learned really. Training, managers, friends, fucking girlfriend, everyone realises, right.
Butcher, barber, everyone. Go on,
So you learn from that. But from that fight, your career stalled because you went from having back-to-back fights, then things opened up, but you still had this problem with Star Boxing in America. Things hadn't opened up in America for you.
Yeah, so I had a couple of fights. Like, obviously, see, we kind of, as well, when you're fighting on those small hall shows, you have to remember, like, we were probably, in a way, it was probably almost like a bit of a bad thing that had happened and had gone so smoothly for us, because we almost got like a false
sense of
perception of how pro boxing works, you know. The reality is, if you're fighting on small hall shows or shows that aren't on big television networks, they very often fall through and get cancelled.
Yeah.
And that happened a number of times. While we were waiting, and in fairness to Conor, he was active trying to get his fights, and then, you know, America hadn't opened, and then as soon as the opportunity arose for us to get to America, Conor got us over there, and we had our fight with Star Boxing.
So, and this is Conor Slater.
Slater, he's looking after Star Boxing.
Yeah, so Conor's involved with Star Boxing.
Yeah,
who knows? Okay, so from that fight, that was last June, wasn't it? It was June 2021, the defeat.
Yeah.
You come to Manchester and you were sparring Lindenhoff for the Yard rematch. So you were in that gym. Then you've been at Gallagher's gym. You've been, in Steve Malick's gym. But I don't think you've sparred in Steve Malick's
No,
gym.
he hasn't got any
He's
guys.
not got heavier
in around
guys,
my
have you?
weight. Yeah. I just
So-
trained down there a few times.
So you might not have had fights, but you're getting that experience of coming to Manchester, fighting British champions, world ranked fighters. So you're getting that. You want to get fights in. Nothing's happened till things open back up in America with Star Boxing.
Yeah.
And then finally, you fought your last fight. It was 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago.
It was on the 9th of April, so... would have
9th,
been-
yeah, a few weeks, yeah. So
Yeah.
9th of April, that was in New York. People don't realise that Star Boxing are one of the most respected promotional outlets in America. I'm pretty sure they're the longest promotional outlet going in New York.
That was their first. That was their first time running a show in the. I can't pronounce Shanakhtadi in the casino there in Rivers Casino. So it was kind of like, in a way, it was like a pilot show to see how
Yeah.
things would go, and then they were obviously gonna assess things after. And I think they were happy with how it went. So I would imagine the next show that they do in Rivers Casino is going to be even again a level up from that. But the casino itself is a great spot. Like, it's a proper, like a big, like
Yeah.
like you're in the
Oh, it's a
MGM
proper
ground,
fighting
yeah.
thing.
When you're walking around, like you're going to get your dinner and you're going to get your breakfast in the morning. You walk past people on the slot machines and the blackjack
Yeah,
tables.
mad, isn't it?
It's cool.
When you
but-
were boxing, were they on the slot machine?
no, well, they're like so the room was held in the fights were held in a big
function
conference function
Yeah.
room, which is just to the side. But like, there's a big, massive gaming
Yeah.
room. It's huge, and there's like
Did you gamble?
bars and food. No, I didn't gamble. I'm not a gambler.
Not go roulette.
No, I
Put all
don't.
your purse on 36.
No, I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't back chicks and I don't ride horses.
Of course you don't. So, right. So the opponent was he MMA? He's been an MMA fighter. He's
Yeah.
a boxer. Has he been in the UFC? Has he fought
Yeah, he's
you?
in the UFC. Yeah, he did a few fights in the UFC. Yeah, look, he was, he wasn't the most skillful opponent I was in with, but he came in heavy. So the fight was actually at a heavier limit than what we had agreed. He came on the night. He was a solid, big, strong guy.
Fat slob.
The ring was small. I wouldn't say he was a fat slab man. He was big.
Yeah, I mean
He was
tanky.
tanky, blocky.
Yeah.
And he just was like, he just made the fight awkward. He was just awkward, and the number one priority for that fight was to get the win and get back to winning ways. And early in the first round, I got a bang of his head on my eye. My right eye started swelling a little bit.
Yeah.
And the New York State Athletic Commission are extremely strict, so
Yeah.
they were on Stephen's back straight away, saying if that eye gets any worse, we might have to step in. So I got back to the corner in round 2, and Stephen said, "Right, I want you to jab this guy, keep changing direction, move, jab,
Yeah.
move, jab. Do not stand. Do not stick your feet and get involved with him."
Yeah.
And I was kind of going, "What?" Because for the last 6 weeks, all we'd worked on was
Yeah.
standing
Putting
in the
pressure
distance
on.
and
Yeah.
trading with guys. So suddenly it was like flip the script. But I never questioned Stephen. I just did what he asked me.
Which good
We got the win,
experience.
yeah. But then Stephen explained after why he changed the plan. But he didn't explain at the time. He didn't want me to panic about my eye or anything. He just wanted me to go in there and do what I need to do. So
Yeah.
listen, got the win. I thought I won fairly convincingly. I thought I pretty much won every single round. And as two of the scorecards, one scorecard was like he gave him like 2 or 3 rounds, but
It was 8 rounds you
comfortable
got
win.
under your
Yeah,
belt.
8 rounds. Yeah.
So
But
but
he's
people
a tough guy as well. He's never been
Oh,
stopped or anything.
he was a very short, stocky, and them kind of guys, you've got to be careful of that overhand right, because if
Yeah,
you
yeah.
switch off, it'll take your fucking head off.
Yeah,
without-
they're strong, they're tough, and they just they can make it awkward for you. You know, they're,
So-
they're there to spoil. And like he's the kind of guy. He has a couple of upsets on his record against prospects. I was looking into it, and like he's the kind of guy who, if he sees an opportunity to
Yeah.
put your lights out, you know, he was all nice and at the way
Yeah,
in,
yeah, of course, yeah.
before the fight, oh yeah, good luck and all this. That's mind games. I want
Yeah,
you to
yeah.
think that they're
Yeah. Don't be nicey nice, you don't want to see it. Fuck
never
off.
be nice. No. Not,
Be
not
nicey
until, not
nice
until the
before
fight's
fights.
done. Then you can shake hands. And
That's what I said with Dillian White. This is Dillian White, who I used to be a big fan of. Wasn't happy what he did with the lack of promotion for the Fury fight, but the whole thing with Fury and White was Dillian's that street kid. He's going to come in, pull it on him. At the weigh-in, he's smiling, shaking hands, happy to be all nicey nice, having a cup of tea, coffee. What? Why? Do you think that was a false sense of thing from Fury to? Because Fury was being all nicey nice, like you say. Do you think he wanted to plant the seed of being all nicey nice? So I think there was a little bit of that from Fury because I don't know. I said it pre-fight.
I think
maybe.
like when you're involved in a fight of that magnitude and there's so much money at stake, I think like when it's when you can create an event like that, like you almost probably have to give your opponent respect in the fact that they are your dance partner that's bringing in. Like, to sell out Wembley like that, you got to respect your opponent for that. That's you can't have a fight with one man. You got to have two men. So I think there's definitely, I would say it's genuine respect.
Yeah, but I don't want to see it nice, like we said. No nicey before. After the fight,
there was no nice in the fight. He knocked him out, didn't he? So
yeah,
I mean,
and pushed him on the floor. Good lad, good lad.
So I think, like, I don't think you have to, like, my personal prerogative is I wouldn't be all about talking shit and fuck you and fuck your mother. Like, that's
fuck
not
you,
necessary.
motherfucker.
It's not necessary. Like, you just get in there and let your action do the talking. You know?
Yeah, but I want to see now. I want to see you when you fight. I want someone to get you fucking there. I want to see. I love all that. See, I'm not
you're
fighting.
A shit talker. Keyboard warriors. Of course, you want to see all that.
I want to fucking see it, mate. I want someone to fucking pull it on you to see it, because it's promotion. You know what I mean? I actually think. Will you tell me if you think I'm right or wrong? If that was to happen to you, wouldn't that give you more of a purpose to fuck it? I know.
Yeah. But I'm not gonna like start going, no, fuck it.
Because I always think it's actually a disadvantage to do that to someone, because you're actually giving them more motivation.
Yeah, because you're antsy and you're
shit
twitchy.
talk. Yeah.
Like.
And you shit talking someone, that person, I'm a fucking.
Did you watch Gennady Golovkin at a weigh-in?
Yeah.
He just looks him in the eye, smiles, says good luck and shakes their hand.
Yeah, but he's got bombs in his fucking.
Yeah, of course. But like he doesn't need to go, I'm gonna take your head off. Like, I'm here to do my job. You know? Yeah.
No, but I like that. I like the talking, mate. I want to see step up and talk. That's what I want to see. Right, so going back to this geezer, right, this your last opponent. So you got the win. The most important thing was to get the win, because people don't understand when a boxer loses, don't matter when you lose or how you lose, the fight after is the most important. I think it's one of the most critical fights of your career, because you get beat in that fight, it's packing your bags kind of shit, isn't it, really?
Well, yeah.
Not that it would be, but it's like
it's not great.
You're looking in the mirror thinking, what the fuck am I going to do here?
Yeah.
So it's so important to get that win. So you got the win.
There's a lot of pressure, yeah.
Of course there is, because it's not like when you're having back-to-back wins, it's all nice. Like you were saying, false sense of security. When you're in the pandemic, you're having win after win, collecting your wins, and it's all up there. You think, everything's, I'm going to win. But when you lose, and then there's doubts in your fucking mind. I mean, was there things leading up to the fight where you think, did you have that kind of pressure on you? Cards on the table? Really. No. But did you think, what am I going to do if I lose this? I can't fucking lose. Or was it just normal?
I just stayed calm and just got in there. Even on the night, like, I just stayed calm, just listened to what Stephen asked me, and I just did it. Didn't question him. I didn't go, oh no, but I've been working on this and I want to.
That's your coach, Stephen O'Rourke.
Yeah, Stephen O'Rourke. I wasn't like, oh no, like, I don't want to beat this guy and I want to knock him out. Like, I just was like the way I fought him was probably, I could have had a much more dominant performance and hurt him, you know. But instead, I just listened to Stephen. I stayed calm, just listened to Stephen.
Got the win.
Did what I had to do. So,
right, Joe Ward, right? Someone you've sparred with, or are you friends with him?
Yeah.
So were you on the Irish team with him?
Yeah.
So I'm going to say I want to see that fight. In America, I want to see that fight. I want to see Joe Ward, Tony Browne, not now, in another 18 months, right? In New York, St. Patrick's Day, right? I've got a pint of Guinness in one hand, a cup of tea in the other hand, right? I want to see it. Is there ever a chance that could ever happen? Because you are the same weight, aren't you?
I think. Well, I'll be competing at super-middleweight anyway.
But he's in and around. Is he light heavyweight or super?
He's light heavyweight, but he could be competing at super-middleweight. Yeah.
So that is a fight that could mature. I mean, how friendly are you with him? Is it just like?
Yeah, we're getting on. Like, yeah, there's no animosity.
Have you ever had a laugh with him or spoke to him? We could fight each other.
No.
Did you fight him in the amateurs? And it was a close fight, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a good fight. Yeah, it was a good fight.
Was it 1 point he beat you by?
It was a split decision. I personally thought I won, obviously, on the night. But yeah, it was a good fight. It was a good fight.
Yeah. So you've already fought. So he's got a great amateur pedigree. You're both known in Ireland, right? Look, I say New York, but if things open up in Dublin, you fucking put that in Dublin, Ireland, on St. Patrick's Day. It's going to fill out it's going to fill out anywhere, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think that's a fight that could happen in the future?
Sure, it could. Yeah.
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 How does it go?
I don't talk shit, man.
Right. So if you look at the next 18 months a year, how does that pan out?
Well, I think I'll see myself getting it, at least into the top 50, maybe top 40, 30 in the world, depending on who I get to fight. Maybe picking up a couple of intercontinental titles. Potentially, I mean, it's hard to know now, especially now that I'm with a promoter based in New York. So whether or not an Irish or European title will be available, we'll see. But there's definitely going to be continental titles available around America. Then you got to look at intercontinental titles, and then you're knocking on the door of world titles, and that's where everyone wants to be in professional boxing. So the money's at. So
I want to ask, what is the goal? Because you get people, you get a lot of my outlets for everyone, whether you're a hardcore fan, whether you just started watching boxing or you're a casual fan. I might debate with you and give you my point, but I want people's opinions. You'll get people going, well, how good's Tony? Or is he going to get, what levels is he going to be at? What if you look? Say if this was at 10 years down the line, how do you think the career is going to end? I
definitely believe I have the potential. I definitely believe I will be a world champion.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I definitely do. Like I'm still thinking about me as I started boxing late, and I'm still learning and improving to this day. So, I know I've got a lot more levels to go up and a lot more gears to go. I've shown glimpses and patches of world level class.
Yeah.
And I'm at a very, very good level at the moment, but I know I've got a lot of improvement in me and a lot more to give. So I definitely see myself going all the way and having a good career as a professional boxer, and then who knows what I'll do after.
But you want the big nights, don't you? Do you ever think about as a boxer?
Yeah, I love to have big nights and get my mates there, and boxing isn't just about you; it's about giving back to all the people who supported you and everyone around you as well. So I'd like to provide nights for people where they'll remember them for life as well.
Right, okay. Next fight, and what's the plans for the next year or so? What do you say?
So I'm fighting again June 11th, Long Island, against Lucas Martin Zabra. He's 15-1, maybe 16-1 now. I think he got a win recently. That'll be a good step up for me, a good scalp. Plan is go in there, have a good performance, show what I'm about. I think his style will suit me, and then from there I should take a decent climb in the rankings, and then be looking at a title.
Yeah.
The next fight, definitely.
Good lad.
It's good to be at that stage this early in the career.
Yeah. Of course, absolutely. Right, so Tony will be over Manchester quite a lot, so I want to keep you updated with the progress of his career. And this is what this outlet's about. It's not about world champions or the big names. It's about fighters who I believe have the potential to be world champions. And even if you're not going to be a world champion, I just like the stories of boxing. I like getting involved, whether you're just a journeyman, whether you have one fight, whether you've had a white collar fight, whatever it is. I like to tell people stories. So follow Tony, Superfly Tony Browne on Instagram, which is
Superfly Tony B.
Superfly Tony B.
Yeah.
And his Twitter is Dick123.
I've got Twitter.
You've not got Twitter, have you?
No.
You don't like the old social media, do you?
Not really, mate, no.
So follow him and DM him and ask him loads of questions. Right. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you.